guys.
Hey,
Welcome to
Girlfriends in the City.
So today we have finally decided to do a review on the Real Housewives of Durban.
It didn't make sense to do, a review of the series without doing the reunion.
Yeah, I didn't say the reunion. I just said the Real Housewives of Durban.
Okay, so like we were saying, we wanted to do a young review of the reunion show of the Real Housewives of Durban, just to look at how much of the issues in the show were discussed, how the guests were dressed, and of course the reunion show host. So I think we can start with the looks.
Yeah. So the theme was like golden white, basically. And obviously for me, who was your best dressed? I really liked.
I think it was Lassie.
Latkonko's outfit was
impeccable. I wish
top tier.
Personally, I wish she didn't go with a white look. I wish she went with maybe something more gold or incorporated a bit of gold in the white, or maybe just done a sleek, back nice hairstyle. I feel like the white look kind of made it goggleish.
Really? I don't know. I was okay with the trim. I didn't mind it. I was so taken by the goldy, feathery vibe that was happening here by her little
And whoever matched
area.
the mesh to her skin tone, you did a great job.
Right?
Because you can barely see it.
Oh my goodness. She was really stunning. And then we go to...
I was hoping for better from Annie.
Were you really?
Yes.
But
did you see her wedding dress? Her wedding dress was stunning.
Beautiful.
Stunning. Her wedding dress was stunning.
But that's like a different occasion.
I know, but I feel like she wore like a top with a skirt.
She did. It was almost like a jersey-ish. Those nice fluffy jersey tops with like a golden skirt.
So yeah. Nonku, I didn't get.
But it suited her.
It did suit her.
As in it was like...
She didn't look bad. It's just that I wanted a bit
It was a bit boring. Yeah. Nonku, I was actually quite disappointed for me personally. I think she could have looked a little bit more like smash.
Yeah, you see,
because she was smashing throughout the show.
She was, and I get the idea behind the dress, but I don't think the execution made us grasp it fully.
And that hat,
the hat was OTT
over the top,
no reason,
too much,
and her wig.
I don't know. I don't think she was really like... Anyway, but she liked it. I'm sure it was like by a serious
person. As
person.
long as she was happy. Oh, Mabusi, she let me down.
Mabusi let us down with the wedding dress, but we still love her. She was still down. The whole thing didn't work. It honestly looked like a China mall dress.
I went OTT. What I got it gloves, little pen, little what?
I think also that dress Ayanda looked much better in pictures than it did in
on the actual
it was just
show.
On the actual show.
I mean, in terms of her hair was
her hair was top.
Surisha, I don't really remember what Surisha was doing. All I can remember
how did she look? Her makeup was stunning.
I mean, whoever was the makeup artist, because even Lassie's makeup was
fantastic.
Gold, like it wasn't Benze, Wendy actually makeup artist.
No, definitely. We liked it a lot.
So in terms of no, I mean nobody looked like really terrible.
She was very blue.
That's
all we're gonna say. Okay.
And Pupo.
Oh my god, yes, and then there was Pupo. Pupolicious.
The thing was so tight. You know that when he sat down, I know that pain. Nia. It was new.
But hey, he wore it very well. Being funny, but alright.
Being funny. I don't play those pussy verses.
Oh yes, put some more verses. But anyway, we'll say less about that. Okay, so let's start with what?
Let's talk about Fat Joe being the host, because I was a bit annoyed with that.
I mean, hasn't he hosted a Housewives a reunion thing.
He has, but I don't think he catches like the vibe of a Housewives show. I felt like perhaps it was maybe the editing also. Yeah, I felt like he went through the topics way too fast, and he was more speaking like a person who didn't really watch the show or wasn't really a fan of the show, interested in the show at all.
Because he could have picked up from what they were saying and been like, but wait,
didn't you? He didn't do all that back and forth that you need in a reunion show.
And considering he's Fat Joe, you know, you would have expected him to say like a lot more.
To dive in a bit more. So I don't think Fat Joe was a good idea. If they can change, if there's a season 2, if they can change the reunion host.
Give us someone that's like really into this vibe, like someone that does like Housewives, you know, even if it's like, I don't know, who's like very vocal about this kind of shit.
I saw somebody say Mushe would have been nice.
Mushe did also do one of the Joburg ones, ne?
I don't remember.
I think so.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe not Fat Joe next time. Or if they do Fat Joe, then he must like watch the whole season. Or maybe he did, but it didn't look like he did. It just looked like he was reading through and like going at a fast pace. Also that I just don't think they did enough. They should have had a part 3 because I don't think they
didn't
dig enough
they
didn't dig
like
enough.
There was back and forth that was needed, you know, when people were talking. And of course, can't be much. Also, we missed KG in the reunion. She didn't come.
We absolutely did.
I get it.
I think she would have looked very nice in white.
She would have, but also we get it. She says that she lost a lot of people in a short space of time, so she did what she needed to do. Yeah, but it would be nice to
have her there because she was part of a lot of dialogues, and on the show. So that would have been very nice to have. Annie was definitely missing her. Annie also came with some fire. She was very saucy. Exactly. She was very saucy towards Ulontuzan.
Nongu. Yeah, but you see now, here's my thing always about reunion shows also. I always feel like sometimes watching a reunion show, there's backstories that we're missing. So you obviously know that the show was shot way before the reunion show was done. So there's obviously still events and things that happened. You know, I mean, if you think of the last episode
when they
of
were
the
like
show, where they had a heart-to-heart and they were cool with each other, then you get to the reunion
and then she's like feisty,
like gun is blazing. She's not about it.
Yeah.
So there was that.
I think she also just wanted to really get her point across.
Which she did, I think, which I appreciate also because she really did. She did try her best to like fight for herself.
Yeah.
And for us to understand where she's coming from, like in terms of why she didn't taste the wine, I still don't think it's enough of a reason to taste the wine. Because also, if you're going to go on about how you got dressed up and you spent your time to go to an event and you feel like your time was wasted, at least taste the wine, what you're there for.
Even if they didn't do a whole like tasting for you guys to be like, okay, now we're tasting this. You guys can just be like, okay, sharp, let's see what they have.
And if you're really at your friend's event, you know, even if you're better, you'll say to yourself, okay, I understand there's gin and there's vodka and there's what at the bar, but let me have my friend's wine, let me taste it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the drama of this event later. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I was with Sarisha there when she mentioned how she was disappointed in the girls for not tasting the wine.
Yeah, no, it didn't make sense, Shane. All right, and then on to La C. La C, obviously, the main thing that was focused on was her telling people to Google me. But when they did Google her, obviously she had a little bit of a hissy fit about it. She wasn't really happy. So she was explaining that...
Yeah, do you see, here's my thing. You go onto a show, and if you've watched the franchise before, whether it's the Joburg one or one of the international ones, one of the American ones, the show's called Real Housewives. So I get that she's saying that she used to...
We don't know what the current status is of that relationship.
Their partner is a former president. We get that. But when you came onto the show, you knew it was called Real Housewives, not businesswomen and how they live their lives. It's Real Housewives. So people will want to know about that aspect of your life purely based on what the show is about. If you watch all the other Real Housewives shows, people talk about their ex-husbands or their husbands at the moment, fiancés, partners.
The reason why they have that name of housewife, they're going to talk about it. So you can't say, Google me if you're not going to.
But apart from Google me, when you're asked about it, you're really cagey about it. You won't be open about what the situation is. If perhaps there's like, you can't talk because of legal issues, then say, Wuti, I can't talk because of legal issues. It's a legal thing.
Yeah.
You can't use the fact that he was a former
She
president.
really went around in like
a Real Housewives.
She did a whole maze just instead of just being honest and open about. Actually,
you can't
I
be
can't
honest
talk about it.
Nobody's gonna go.
It's not gonna be exactly. But if you're gonna be hiding stuff, obviously Nonku will say something is shady here. Why doesn't she want to talk? So you can't then get offended because people are just having conversations.
So
And then she wasn't, of course, feeling Ayanda for the truth or dare situation. Anyway. Okay, so for me, let's go to Ayanda. That whole thing about the umuntu. I personally, as a Sotho speaking person, didn't take any offense to her saying umuntu, because I get again like.
But
I didn't.
Do you know what the funny thing is?
I didn't take it like that, but also they were having a full-on conversation about UKG. And like Goms was saying, hey, you're not fluent in this, you're not fluent in that, you know what I mean? So that whole thing wove into something that would seem like you are trying to be insulting.
They were, let's be frank, they were insulting her, but they weren't insulting her because they were saying she's not black.
Yeah, not the Muntu thing. The Muntu thing, like, it's not the thing.
Yes, they were insulting her, but it's not because they were trying to say Zulu people are the only blacks. And I get it because in the translation, okay, umuntu, the first thing that you know about umuntu is a human being.
Yeah.
So why didn't the caption, the translation say human? Why did it say black?
Yeah, exactly, Shame. That was really
so already that's like creating drama.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily.
Yeah.
We know Zulu people and how they are. Some of them can be overly proud of.
Zulu people definitely can be overly proud. Let's not lie.
They can be tribalistic indeed.
Absolutely.
The essence of saying "Uti umuntu, hauye numuntu," could be for some people a tribalistic thing in terms of the root of it, because it's almost like Zulu people viewing those who are not Zulu as less than.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know that
Zulu things.
Yes, Zulu people, some phrases, as much as their root is tribalistic or it was of offense, because now it's spoken so much in the language, it's a norm, it's an everyday thing. I think in every language, there are those terms that are like on the fence.
Yes,
sort of.
yes.
And
like, depending on the context and if you are part of that nation, you will either not understand it, take offense to it, and
I appreciate Ayanda
for apologizing. Yeah,
and if you think about it, Ayanda is actually technically not the only person who should have been apologizing.
Yes,
but Lassie kept quiet.
And she said a more offensive thing, Lassie.
Yeah, and Nonku, who was the one who translated it to "You're not African."
Yes,
the "You're not African" statement came from Nonku.
But Nonku did explain it
on behalf of.
She did explain it on the last night.
Yeah, but nobody apologized. Only Ayanda did.
No, yeah, only Ayanda did.
So, yeah.
Anyway, Sorish didn't have a lot of drama, but honestly, that gay thing was so unnecessary. It was so unnecessary.
I can just imagine the friends that I don't call Ngani saying, "You don't call me Ngani, therefore."
Bruh. I called Jamila by 15 names.
Guys, come on, let's not do this. It was a little bit of a petty argument.
Very petty.
And Sorisha expected more from me.
Definitely. And then taking us back and telling us about
where you're not white enough, you're not black enough, you're not black,
God,
and it's fine.
It's okay.
Not to be black. You're Indian.
It's fine.
And you're colored.
It's fine.
And that's
there's nothing wrong.
That is the perimeter that you're in. There's very little, like, black people have their own hardships.
Yeah.
And you know that in some states, in most cases, you guys already by your race are perceived above black people.
Yeah.
So why would you want to be in a group when you're already a privileged human being? Like,
absolutely. So I
can't call you black because we don't have the same human experience.
You can't argue it based on the fact that we don't have the same.
Based on our race. Exactly. So why me force that?
Yes. And that's that on that. Thank you. And then, of course, there was the drama between Nonku, her
grand
mother.
Finale, the Williams versus Ayanda.
The Williams versus Ayanda Ncwane, exactly. So Nonku's mother, the queen, decided to come and give a message from the dad of Unonku about the baby girl, Notil. And of course, the message did not sit well with anyone.
Guys, I feel like Ayanda, in her response, she was trying so hard to be respectful because she was speaking to someone's mother. And also because she's Ayanda Ncwane, so she's always got to be poised and put together and
absolutely
whatever.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows that was an extremely unfair thing to do to Ayanda. I don't care if agaphendulanga WhatsApp akho about Notile's birthday, and if you told her via WhatsApp that my dad wants to speak to you.
People don't read WhatsApp messages every day of their lives. People get WhatsApp messages.
That is not the platform. If they wanted to bring it up and if they were really serious, they could have said, Umaga, Nonku could have said, Ayanda, can you please connect us to the Ncwanes so that we can fix the damages issue in terms of Notile. Because Notile was, during the show, Nonku mentioned that she would like Notile to take Sifiso's surname.
Yes.
Ayanda didn't argue, she didn't flinch, she said definitely, of course, that's what it makes sense to do that. Even if Ayanda umbuza ngendaba ezama damages engaphenduli, she has every right not to, because as much as ushade kancane again awakancane, she cannot negotiate, especially if we're gonna be culturally speaking. Culturally,
it really isn't.
And Ayanda's right. If Sifiso has other children outside of
their marriage,
then more than one,
Nonku's saying that she must be responsible for every single child that Sifiso had.
Because now she's gonna agree. Now imagine she said that like shit. Now imagine she said that then it's fair game. All the other baby mamas bayamngenu Ayanda, which is completely unfair on Ayanda, because at some point, yes, he's passed now. Why appeal? So
exactly, all these years. And I think even with Nuki was saying her marriage, it was abusive and all that, and she couldn't do a lot of things. But she did get a divorce at some point, right?
The first thing that you should have wanted.
She did have access, exactly. So there's no way you're gonna say, now this is all on Ayanda. I'm sorry.
And it was so painful for her. You can see Ayanda was blindsided.
Absolutely.
The way it came at her, and everybody you could see at some point was emotional. I mean, Sorisha was teary, and he was also in tears, because it's such a painful thing to do to a person, to blindside them like that. I think also there was some parts that were edited out that we didn't see. I do feel like the conversation did carry on further, especially how emotional Ayanda became. I think it went a little bit deeper than that. Because you could see in by everyone, but it was
too much.
Thank God Pupa was there at least to speak on his sister's behalf. And I think that's the other thing that was painful for Ayanda, because it's like, my mom is passed. There's nobody actually to defend me.
Yes.
You're sitting here.
So you're coming here because I'm an orphan. I don't have a mom. So you have all this ammo and I don't have that.
And for something again that is actually not her problem.
That's the thing.
Ayanda doesn't have to do a single thing. All she has to do is organize play dates between Notile and her brothers.
Yeah.
I think that's all.
Yeah, Nonku did a bit too much. I think Nonku was really just pressing on this whole issue. She did way, way too much. You saw her even there at the reunion. She looked like...
And her look in when
she was doing this...
The look in her eyes. It's like she was so impressed with seeing Ayanda suffering.
She must be embarrassed. Like, she must be... Like, what?
She was so impressed. And if she didn't... agree with how her mom did things.
They weren't supposed to from the get-go.
Later she was like,
no,
I can understand that the platform... No, Sissy, you knew what
you knew from the beginning what that platform
And then the worst thing is they're shielding themselves using Ubab Williams, which is Ayanda's dad, a person who's not even there, who I personally and please believe that if he wouldn't have chosen that as a platform to discuss. These are sacred cultural practices.
Just seems like it was really a scheme between the two ladies.
They should have went. At the most, if they really wanted to put something on the show and be dramatic, they could have really said, Ayanda, can you please put us in connection with Sfiso's family?
That's it.
So that we can organize this damages. I felt like also Ulasi was too much on the fence as Unganiga.
Ayanda. She's supposed to be Ayanda's friend.
Saying that I can understand
somebody is what.
I think people were like, missing the point. We get it. Yes, it's important for the cultural practice to happen. We get it. It's important for cultural practices to take place. It's important and if that's her wish, that we understand. But the platform, that is the main argument.
The platform
is that you came to attack Ayanda on a public platform. You knew everybody.
This show was shooting for however many weeks. You guys had time to talk on the side, to do all of these things. There's no way you were saying
to embarrass Ayanda.
So sad.
And I think that's the point, because people were like, and I get where Nonku's coming from.
No, you don't.
No.
They've had many a conversation. Even when the cameras go or turn off, you can have a conversation. Like, there's absolutely no need.
And she's like, I did tell you
on
that,
a public
I did tell you on WhatsApp that my father wants to talk to you. And then I was like, okay, yes, I'm pissed. I got that text. And then Nonku all of a sudden is like, but I didn't know what he wanted to talk about. Why are you lying?
You know, she did too much.
What other reason would your father have to talk to Ayanda?
Exactly. No, she did way, way too much. It was very, very disappointing. Very disappointing. And then I know she got some serious backlash from that. You decided.
Got a bit deep.
Okay, the bullying did get deep.
A speech from KG.
The bullying did get deep, but overall, honestly, she shouldn't have done that. It was wrong on every single level. And then that was that. It was the end.
I hope Mabusi comes back.
They really should have had a part 3. We hope Mabusi comes back. We hope...
Personally, I also hope Khomotso comes back. Perhaps she'll come back.
I would love for Khomotso to be back on the show. But Khomotso is not a bad person, guys.
I didn't say she's a bad person.
You saying she's a what person?
I said... I hope she can come back as a bit, because she is a shit starter. She's a shit stirrer.
But I think from watching the show, she can see her actions on it. And she can see.
I don't think she can.
No, I think she did.
I think
she did. She can see her. Maybe she was a bit too judgy and a bit too loose mouthy, you know. So I think now she's gonna be more relaxed if she does decide to come back. Honestly, and I'd like to see maybe some new people come through. But otherwise,
guys, honestly,
because people were actually talking about how they were saying, no, why is everyone forcing Uti Ulasi must talk about Umundwake, but Surisha is not. And it's like, but we did see Vivian.
We did see
in like the first episode or whatever. We know she's married to Vivian.
We know she's married to Vivian.
She mentions him exactly. You know what I mean?
Like I was saying, even if your explanation is that, guys,
yes,
right now, because we're going through this. I think also her favorite tone of approach. She becomes so defensive every time she's asked about this topic. And there could be nothing wrong, but the way at defensive there's something wrong now. All of a sudden, you could literally say, if there is issues, there's legal matters that are happening currently at this moment. Therefore, I cannot discuss much about our situation. Or Uti, no, right? as a family. But that's obviously because of who he is. That's obviously all I can disclose.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is her snide comments talking about sister wives and things. The little comments she makes every time we mention his team,
laughing,
and how she'll never do it again. And but anyways,
no, Lassie can stay. She can stay, but just be honest, be open from the onset. Don't play us. That's all I'm saying. Don't preach this thing. And then do this thing. No, it's not gonna work.
Yes, because you're Atlanta.
Okay, we know Nungu doesn't like South African men, so we finally got to see her American Atlanta man. That's all I gotta say on that. But overall, yes, we really, really enjoyed the show. As we said before, please like, comment, subscribe, do your things, tell us what you need to tell us about the show. Till next time, y'all.
Pew pew pew.
Till the next season, they must announce it soon because we're ready for it. We know it's on Mzansi Magic right now, so it's
the next season.
Come through, watch. No, it was on Showmax, so now it's on Mzansi Magic. So everybody come through when you're done watching the season. Come watch our reviews. Let us know what you think and all of that shit. All that stuff. Bye.